the things that I really get hung up on is how, as we go through life with our partner in life, our relationships do change
Mhm.
because the life around us changes. How do you get back the original intent of the relationship when a cancer diagnosis kind of jumps in and you go from an intimate relationship to a caregiving relationship? How do you get back either the intimacy or the emotional intimacy that you once had and try and recreate pre-diagnosis, because the diagnosis never goes away.
Right. So how do you get back to the original intent? Sharing emotionally and okay. Um, Obviously that's going to require some intentionally trying to get back to that, right? Because everything we've been talking about is how um, we shift into treatment mode, if you will, and caretaking and all that stuff. So all of the roles change. So it's going to take some um, intentional trying, if you will, to say, okay, yes, okay, we got it. Like you both said, this is a journey. We have things to figure out. We have plans to decide on, treatment plans and all that. And hopefully once we find a groove, or even before that, we can have moments where we check in with each other. How are we doing? As Kathleen beautifully described with her and her father, how else can we do things? Like he went from doing to teaching, but in a way he was still doing things he liked. He was just had a different role in it. So similar things like that. How can we get creative about things maybe we used to do and we can't do anymore, but let's create a new way. And it might take, the first time you try something, you might be like, but you try something else. And I also love what Kathleen said, a couple of things about how he experienced the full range of emotions and he shared that. And that's so important. And that he had that sense of humor that she talked about earlier in the men's group, because a sense of humor is a beautiful way to draw a boundary with this thing taking over our lives and being what our whole lives become about. And humor is a great way to draw a boundary. So I think that it takes some intent. I mean, it sounds funny to say because you're asking me, how do we get back to the original intent of the relationship? And it takes intentional trying of in with each other and letting each other talk about how we're feeling without feeling like we need to fix it, but having a space to share. And what can we do that we used to enjoy doing together? How can we change that so that we still have the connection, right? That we don't lose the connection, even though now the connection might look different than it used to, which is going to happen in any relationship anyway. But this adds an extra, maybe, challenge to get around and extra details that are involved, of course.
Yeah, I sometimes think of caring without smothering. That's what I think of in my head a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and I know Kathleen's laughing because it's one of those things that, when the dynamics change and you go from caring from one another, now the other person's caring for you, it's hard to go from caring to not go to smothering. And it's hard to, and sometimes you don't even know that you are.
Right.